So speaking of wrestling, one of the biggest things that I really admire of you is your ability to embody and create characters. And you and I had a whole conversation about different characters and filming these different characters. Obviously, anybody who follows your Instagram stories knows of some of the characters. My personal favorite is Corporate Louderwolf because I think he's fucking hilarious. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is deep seated inside of me that loves Corporate Louderwolf. But I think it's probably because he's one of the characters in my own mind that I do listen to.
You relate to Corporate Louderwolf. That's the only fucking reason that you would like him.
But I don't like. I mean, I guess I can relate to JoJo. I guess I can relate to. I relate to the Chuck too. I do like the Chuck. But there is something hilarious about Corporate Louderwolf that just gets me every time.
Mm-hmm. And Corporate Louderwolf is just an entity that keeps telling you to do the thing that's good for business, even though you clearly don't want to do it.
Yeah, essentially, and your version of business is the Queen's face. Essentially, but you make fun of it as saying like I doing it for the Queen's face, which is doing it for money in our in Canadian dollars or Canadian money. The Queen's face is on our $20 bill, for example, right? So, I mean, talk to me about character development. When did you first realize you were actually developing characters in the first place?
I think it's when I started doing street art, I realized that if I did it in a way similar to wrestling, because I just think that it's all wrestling. Okay, this is a fundamental thing that you have to understand. I think it's all wrestling.
Everything's for
and
show.
If you understand wrestling, then you will destroy anything you do.
Now, when you're talking about wrestling, for context here, you're talking about like WWE, meaning everything's a show. There's a script to the way that things are.
I'm talking about like if you want to really hone it in.
Show up.
We're talking about Hulk Hogan.
Yes.
The beginning of Hulk Hogan, what it was before and what it becomes after, and who Hulk Hogan is. If you understand that aspect of it, then you will understand how to slay in any business. What happened before Hulk Hogan is they're just fucking, I don't know, they're slamming some guys around. They think they're tough. Blah, blah, blah. Hulk Hogan comes in and he becomes the ultimate tough guy. I'm the toughest one. Me, Hulk Hogan. And they had to, it's sold. The idea sold. He's the toughest one. So then he had to keep winning.
Yeah.
Because he keeps saying he's the strongest one. So fuck it.
But then eventually they have to make him lose.
Eventually, no, Hulk Hogan wins the same way forever. Okay? Yeah. Because back then they're just bringing you to a gymnasium. It's on the ticket. Hulk Hogan's my first time to see Hulk Hogan. He's going to do exactly what I need him to do. The
televised.
Leg drop.
It was also less, It was less popular on television.
And dude, he goes through the whole 80s with the take your vitamins, say your prayers, and work out.
So the show could be the same by moving the show in different towns. They had similar
Consistency
outcomes.
Is very important. Yeah. That's number one. Consistency is very important, and knowing what you stand for. Yeah. He stood for something. The other ones were like selfish and like it didn't make sense. He stood for like if you're consistent and you say your prayers and you take your vitamins, you'll be as strong as me, 6'8". 300 pounds. Bro, nobody, if they could say their prayers night and day, they're not going to be 6'8".
He's kind of like a modern day, like a real life, a character almost like a Popeyes.
Yes. Yeah. He was like Popeye. He's a real life cartoon character.
Yeah, he's a real right.
What happens is he's a cartoon character, and then eventually people don't buy the story anymore. It's not real. And then he has to make it more real. And then he becomes a villain. So he has contrast to his character. And that's where, if you can understand that, you can understand how this is how you have to play it. You can only be a good person for so long before people don't buy it anymore. Okay. Then you have to sway. And you have to show them that you're real and like you're upset and it's hard to pay the bills and and then they'll be like, oh, okay, thank God. I thought he was a guy who gets it all and it's so easy.
They stop relating.
They stop relating because their life's hard.
Yeah.
But secretly, your bank account could be fucking gushing with blood. It doesn't matter. You fucking start saying it's rough out here and oh my God. And you go down into the bank. You just you crash, burn and die. And then from there, they do the same thing all over again.
Phoenix.
You do it all over again, and you climb to the top until you feel that it's not, it's not feeling so good, and you go right back down again. And the more you do that, the highest you can get. You can go to the fucking, dude,
every major character in wrestling has done that, including like The Rock, for example.
The Rock was like the people's. He was the next guy who really did it.
The Rock was the next guy who did it.
But when he was the people's champion, it was ironic. He was actually a villain.
Yes.
He was saying he was the people's champion.
But that was a joke. That was the irony.
And then what happened is they started to believe him.
Yeah.
He was the people's champion. And then he became the people's champion. He went and did movies. And when he came back, nobody wanted him to be the people's champion. They literally probably booed him when he came back. And he had to be the fucking villain again. So he was the villain again. And then he fucking worked his way from being the villain, saying like he's singing songs about how your town sucks. Comes to your town, Arkansas, where the women are fat. And he sings a song about how your town sucks. And eventually people kind of like it. And he gets to be the champion again.
So,
dude, they literally had Hulk Hogan like 67 come back in playing the good guy role, and the roof, they can't even keep the roof on the building because he just did that enough times. He's 67, he can't even run. And they're like, yes, Hulk Hogan, leg drop.